Hello everyone to a new video. Today I'm going to make a different kind of video as usual because as you can see I am today in my room and not filming outdoors. Most people who do watch my channel see me spinning my staff outdoors and this is not going to be really that kind of video. Today I'm going to be sharing a little experiment of mine, going to be recording it. I don't know if I'm going to release this video as a day one experiment or if I'm just going to make a couple of videos, stick them together and release one big video. But you'll be knowing that by the title of this video, so good luck with that. So recently I decided I wanted to try some herbs and plants that can alter performance and mood. Partially to see what they can offer me, if those effects really work on me, and if I can benefit from them. And also partially just to check out some of the herbs that people say, oh, this herb changed my life. Once I started drinking this, my depression was gone. I started to work double time without feeling anything. I just my life got changed by this forever in a positive way, like if it really works like that for me at least, everyone has different experience, everyone has different intense kind of feelings on those plants. But yeah, that's what I decided to try out. I do want to give a quick disclaimer though. The herbs and plants that change or alter performance or moods have always seemed to really work very strongly on me. Like if I felt really sad, oh, just take this plant, you'll feel happy again in no time. Or if I felt really weak because I was sick, they say, oh, just drink this tea and you'll feel better in no time. And they all worked really quickly on me. This could be placebo, but it's happened to some other members of my family. Maybe it's in the genes, maybe placebos in our genes very strongly. I don't really know, but they just seem to work double time. If they say this makes you happy, it makes me ultra happy for half the dose you could give a normal person or something. But it might just be placebo. At least keep that in mind when I'm sharing about my experiences, that you may have only 1/10 of the experience, or maybe you just need double of what I take because I start really slow because I know this happens to me. But at least that was a disclaimer. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this experiment is I'm gonna try one herb through the period of a couple of weeks, maybe a month and a half. See what it does for me, if it works, if I can take it just once a week, if I have to take it twice a week to really notice any effects, if I have to maybe take it daily to notice some effects or something. We'll just see what the effects are, if they help me, if they don't help me, and I've taken it like 2 or 3 times, it didn't do anything positive for me, maybe it did something negative for me. I could just say I abandoned this experiment, but we'll see that. Anyways, the experiment I'm going to start with, the herb I am going to start with, is called Ilex Guayusa. Guayusa. I don't know, I'll just say Guayusa. But it is from the holy tree in the rainforest, in the Amazonian rainforest. It's the shredded leaves of the holy tree in the Amazonian rainforest. And they contain a lot of compounds, mostly caffeine and theobromine. But for the rest, they have some antioxidants, vitamins, amino acids, just some things that are generally good for you. But the main thing you're supposed to notice is the caffeine and the theobromine. And the other compounds really just build that up, make it so you can dissolve it better, so your body reacts good on it. And it's supposed to make you more active. As you know, caffeine increases your awakeness, your alertness, makes you more energetic, opens your blood vessels or something, so you can just spend more energy, have more energy. And that theobromine is also, well, it's supposed to do the same, but also increase focus, be more mood lifting, and really be able to get you in a kind of zone, where you just imagine you're working, it gets you in the zone of working, just doing this task over and just, flowing in it. Same with study, just start studying, study for 2 hours straight, just read everything perfectly, not get disturbed by anything. Maybe in that 2 hours of work, you finished what a normal day would give you 3 hours of work. You just work way faster, way more efficiently, or at least that's what it's supposed to do. Often while studying, I find myself getting distracted, and then my 2 hour study session takes 4 hours to do just the same work because I got too distracted by everything around me, or there's something came up or something. And I'm going to be trying it to see if it can really get me in the study zone more consistently and for a longer time. Every day that I plan to study, maybe 4, 5, 6 hours that day, if I just think like this day is going to be a study day because I'm homeschooled, then I just take, a tablespoon of that or something. They say 1 to 2 grams a person. They really recommend 2 grams, but I'll start with 1.5 and we'll see how it goes from there. I already took 1.5 grams. That's what today's report is going to be about. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, really quickly, before I start the report of what happened on day one and what I noticed, I just want to tell you it took a week and a half for this to arrive. And during that week of a half, I really thought, yes, this is going to help me study. You know, I looked up some videos of people, how it really, well, not changed their lives. I haven't found anyone saying this changed their life, but it did improve their life. So, I guess that's a change in your life. But yeah. So like I said, placebo is one hell of a drug, and it's certainly going to be active, especially on day one. We'll see how it goes on later events, but well, on later experiments. But day one, placebo may have very well been a big factor. Also, a good thing to know is I really rarely take caffeine or theobromine. My only source of those compounds are in chocolate. I eat like a couple of pieces a day, so yeah, I do have a consistent source of them, but not really a big one. Also, there's a lot of sugar in chocolate, so it really doesn't help you concentrate because you know you're just all over the place with that sugar. But yeah, so that's also a quick disclaimer. So, day one of taking Guayusa, I took at I think 10 o'clock 1.5 gram of Guayusa in my tea. I added some citrus to make it dissolve better. I also added some other herbs just to make it taste better. I mean, it's supposed to taste like green tea, which is delicious, but I really like some other things in my tea also, so I just added them. But they're not really supposed to activate to get me to be more active or alert or something. They're just there for taste, and maybe they have some healthy properties for my body or my digestive system or something. But yeah, so those don't really matter. I just took 1.5 grams of guayusa. I think it was about half an hour later that I started to feel a boost of energy and really motivation to be more productive. So I quickly just cleaned the entire room to create a cool study environment, and then I started studying. And I think I got in a continuous flow for about 3 hours, which in which I was able to study really well. I was studying mathematics, and all the formulas just went into my head really quickly. When I saw something I haven't seen before, I could quite easily relate it to things I have seen before, to more of the basics, and I could really build up from them. So to learn just a lot of new formulas in a short amount of time, and I made a lot of exercises in those 3 to 4 hours. I think after 4 hours I took a little break to get some food, but after that I was, I think, able to get into that zone for like 1.5 hour longer before it just started to wear off. And I would say it really quite worked, the caffeine and theobromine or the placebo, but it's really normally when I study I get distracted by things like I said, but it really didn't happen that day. I just, you know, went in the books, learned it, made the exercises. I didn't have to continuously look back over the book. Oh, what was that formula? Wait, why did it work? Does it work like that? I don't understand how it works like that. I didn't really have anything of that sort, but yeah, it may just have been that the things I learned were a bit easier. I couldn't know. That's why it's important to get more experiments. But those are, I think, the positive effects I noticed. So yeah, that's already a big plus. Then one of the negatives I noticed, but it may have been a very much more personal negative. Maybe other people don't experience it like that. It's just my personal condition. But one of the negatives I noticed is that although it turboed what I can think in my head, it kind of shut off my heart. You know, like I wasn't able to feel much emotion at all. Now I do this a lot, like a kind of mental self-isolation, where I just really don't feel other people. They may talk to me about their day, about their interests, and I really, you know, it goes into one ear out of the other. I do care for what they are saying, and I want to understand them and share their feelings. I want to have empathy, but I don't. It just shuts off like a switch in my brain. You're gonna be thinking right now, and you're gonna be thinking about the formulas, what you're studying, how much sleep you're gonna have tonight, what you have to do tomorrow, and not really listen to them. I want to listen to them. I do my best, but I just dream off. And that really happened quite strongly. Also, when it started to wear off was when I had dinner, and I'm also really self-isolated during dinner. I just fantasize off while eating. You know, don't really notice what I'm eating, what I'm picking on my fork. I'm just in some fantasy, and the really amplified that. You know, I was just really not there during dinner. I just ate my plate empty, and I was like, "Where's my plate?" You know, I was of course full, but it was like, shit, that went quickly. You know, I was just in my head, and it all went by. You know, life went by, emotions went by, not touching me, not. So yeah, I was just really kind of stuck in my head. Even if I wanted to, even some occasions came up where people said something to me that I thought like I have to be emotionally attached to this, I have to be emotionally interested in this, and I had to kind of act like I was. I had to like really concentrate on what they were saying and like what would a person with emotions react to this? What would be an empathic thing to say about this? And it wasn't really fun for me since I already have trouble self-isolating, and it really just doubles that. So maybe that was just a bad day for it. Maybe it was just a really bad emotional day, an emotionally disconnected day. I can't know. That's why I do more experiments. But yeah, that's a negative I noticed. And then the last thing I noticed was that the calm down was more difficult than I expected. I think it was about 5 o'clock that I really started to calm down, get sucked out of the zone, um, and that my brain just wanted to stay in there. Like the intention of gaming or laying on the bed or watching a video just came into my head, and my brain was like, no, no, I can't have this. I must stay in the zone. I must, not necessarily like I must take more, but I did want to. I did not want to leave it. I didn't have the intention to go and grab some more, drink some more, because that would be bad for my sleep. But I was like, this is really amazing. This is really powerful. I don't want to leave this state. Um, and yeah, I think maybe that's just because it's the first time I took it and it was very active and strong that I didn't want to leave that zone. But of course, we'll see about that later. Maybe it's like that every time. Of course, I'm not going to take it daily for exactly this reason. I don't want to it's not addictive, but still psychologically addicted to something. Like, imagine you could boost your brain for 5% for studying. Who would say no to that? It's only, you have to drink a tea, and every day you drink that tea, your brain is boosted by 5%. Why would you not drink that every day? But then you start to notice, hey, that 5% is habitual. It is my normal. This is the standard working capacity of my brain is 5% more than it used to be. Then how could you possibly stop drinking that tea? Because your brain is stronger, why would you purposefully make your brain weaker than it can be than it is? So I don't want to take it every day. I want my average brain strength to be that of a not caffeine drinking person, not theobromine drinking person, and just some days boost it, see what it does, see if it can help me. Maybe I notice if it really helps me and it just makes me study 10 times better, then maybe it is worth it to just make 3 days in the week free, just studying, and then, the other days I'll study a bit less, or I'll be a little less capable of studying like I am, just my normal amount of studying. Um, but at least be emotionally connected to the people around me and not be reliant on the tea. Still be able to stop at any time, because most people you see drinking coffee, they're not addicted to coffee, but when they're not drinking coffee, they're just grumpy, they can't work, they're too tired, they're too, who knows, so it's not addictive, but you shouldn't drink it every day, or at least that's what I think. I shouldn't drink it every day. But we'll see about that. We'll see how it continues. Maybe that those negative effects fade away if it only has positive effects. I mean, research only shows positive effects if it only has positive effects for me, and I'll be able to get emotionally connected on it while still being able to study very effectively. Then why not drink it every day? I wouldn't say the cheapest, but a cup a day of 2 grams, which I took 1.5, and it was already strong, but just the average is 2 grams. 1 cup a day. I think with this it comes around to like 11 euros a day. No, a month, 11 euros a month, which is like a cheap subscription to some servers or something. So it's like a cheap subscription to Guayusa then. But who knows? That's what we'll see in the future. That's what this experiment is for. So that was really everything I have to say about day one. If I had to sum it all down, it was overall a positive and helpful experience. And I can clearly see on day one that I studied better on it. I studied more efficiently and really got into that zone. But I also noticed some drawbacks, some emotional disconnection. So we'll have to see how it continues. If I suffer from the emotional disconnection too much for me to continue taking it, or if I can just make it a habit once a week, twice a week, thrice a week, if I can, connect on it emotionally, if I can scrape away the negatives. Maybe it was just a bad day for it. Who knows? Maybe all the positive effects were just placebo and maybe I only have negative effects on it. That's all to be left, that's all to be left remaining to see. We'll see in the future, at least on future experiments. I guess I'll see this camera somewhere next week to report on the next experiment, and maybe you'll see me next week if I upload this one as one experiment. It depends on how long this video is because I've been talking for a while. And it also depends on what I feel like. If I feel like editing it now, or if I feel like editing it after the second time, and then I just make a combination video of day 1 and day 2, and then day 3 and day 4. We'll see what I do. You'll see it right now. Goodbye.